Browns 34-10 losers here in Detroit. They dropped to 1-3 on the season. And we'll start here. The question on everyone's mind, Mary Kay, is the quarterback position. Joe Flacco struggled again today. Now, it certainly was not all his fault. We will get to that as well. But some fans out there thinking maybe it's time to make a switch. Dillon Gabriel did get to play some mop up a little bit today after at the very end of the game. But Mary Kay, with this team heading to London and coming home to play Pittsburgh, is it time to make a switch?
It's a great question, and Kevin Stefanski seemed to answer it in the fashion that he's not going to make a change as they get ready to head over to London this week. So that's the way I took it, but you never really know. When they get back and they watch this film and they talk things over, sometimes a switch is made just for the sheer notion of shaking things up. And sometimes a little bit of a shake up can do a team some good. You can always go back to Joe if you want to, but I think there is a world in which maybe this team needs a little something. Again, Joe got very little help today, so many drops, and so many mistakes in so many ways. He's working with two backup tackles, and they might not want Dillon Gabriel to be thrown into that kind of fire. But I think that they will at least have to give it some consideration.
Yeah, Ashley, if nothing else, it certainly feels like that leash on Joe continues to get shorter and shorter as these losses pile up, turnovers pile up, all of those things.
It does. And, part of me wonders, we know how Kevin Stefanski and this coaching staff, this front office operate. It's almost like when they have an idea and they have a plan, particularly when it comes to these young quarterbacks that they are developing, they've kind of shown us over and over that they aren't willing to deviate from it. Even if it looks like, oh, could this impact the game the next week? They are thinking about things more big picture. So I almost wonder if they had a week set in mind, and I don't know, just use week 7 as the example against the Dolphins because it's the week we've talked about repeatedly in regards to would you switch things over after those first 6 games. If they have that week in mind, is there anything that would make them deviate from it? And we don't know the answer to that, but my gut says that I don't think there would be if they had a set timeline.
Now, we've got to talk about Jerry Jeudy, obviously. He got off to a good start in this game, 3 catches for 48 yards on the opening drive that resulted in a touchdown, targeted 6 more times, did not catch any of them, and one of them was a very crucial drop in the fourth quarter. Mary Kay, and after the game, he was very emotional, as you would expect, said he thought maybe that could have been a touchdown that would have pulled the game to within 20-17. Instead, it went down as a drop, and Jerry Jeudy's struggles here through the first 4 games continue.
Well, what made it even worse is the fact that that was on third down. And on the ensuing punt return, the Lions returned it 65 yards for a touchdown. Game out of reach. Good night, Irene. 27 to 10. It was over at that point. And it really is disappointing to see that Joe and Jerry are still struggling to connect. Heading into the game, Joe said, as Jerry goes, so, and that was played out on that opening drive. He caught those 3 passes, including a 33-yarder, and really helped generate that touchdown. But as you mentioned, he was 0 for 6 the rest of the way with that drop. And then there was a play on which Joe was picked off when Jerry fell on the ground, got knocked down, whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, another pick that was intended for Jerry. So that's just a sign that these two guys really are not on the same page fully yet, even though they tried to get it rolling today.
And Ashley, on a day when the rest of the passing offense just wasn't working, Harold Fannin had a big drop. There was a miscommunication between Joe Flacco and said Tillman on another interception. Really, outside of the run game, the offense was not operating, and that's really when you need Jerry Jeudy to play well, and it just didn't happen today.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, truthfully, I think the only offensive skill player that had a decent day was Quinshon Judkins, both in the pass game and on the ground. I think he continued to take another step, didn't surpass that 100 yards, but this offense definitely hurts when Jerry Jeudy is not playing the way he did for most of last year when he had his first 1,000-yard season, first Pro Bowl season. Just a lot of wonky things happened after that opening scripted series today.
So it is off to London for the Browns. They will face the Vikings, who lost to the Steelers today. The first place Pittsburgh Steelers all of a sudden. And that Brian Flores defense is waiting for this team. A couple of teams desperate for a win, Mary Kay, and we're going to have a very interesting week following this team across the pond.
That is absolutely true. And one of the most unfortunate things for the Browns right now is the fact that there's an opportunity here. The Ravens are struggling. They have dropped to 1-3 as well. And we know that Joe Burrow is out for 3 months. So if the Browns had an offense to go along with their really good defense, which played well again today for the most part, they could be onto something here and they could stay relevant through November, maybe even into December. But unless they can generate some points and find some offense, it's going to be really difficult. And who knows how this is going to go? It's going to be a tough game in London against the Vikings. Then they have to go to Pittsburgh, and we know how that is always, always tough. So this could get away from them in a hurry.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh, of course, will be coming off their bye that week as well. So Minnesota's already over there. Pittsburgh will be coming off their bye. So even the scheduling gods not in the Browns' favor right now, Ashley. But this is a very soul-searching week for this Cleveland Browns team. They've got to get something figured out.
It is. I mean, I think on the surface level, you look at the Vikings and you think, well, should be a winnable game for this football team, especially with how good this defense has been playing. As Mary Kay said, I thought they had another decent day today, even though it wasn't up to their very high standards. The fact that they held the Detroit team to 109 rushing yards after that duo of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery last week combined for 218. That's about as much as you can ask for from this defense against this run attack. So you look at that game, it should be winnable, but Brian Flores is going to be waiting for them. I'm sure they're going to dial up the film of this game as soon as they can over there and be ready for what this Browns offense has not been doing, really.
Okay, well, we will cover everything that happened here in Detroit. We'll cover everything leading up to that London game at cleveland.com/Browns.